Welcome along to this F1 Clash 2024 season look ahead as we go through and have a look at the changes that Hutch have teased or are currently teasing ahead of the new season. Now, you're probably a little bit fed up of the 2023 season, and that's normal having been here for around nearly 12 months, depending on when these videos go out. So everyone's looking forward to a bit of a refreshment, some decent changes, some good improvements. Well, that is certainly what we all crave and we all want to see from Hutch for this season ahead. We're approaching the last couple of weeks now of this 23 season, and I know everybody is itching to know what are Hutch planning. So we're going to use these videos. We're going to use the same introduction. So bear with me if you're watching this. It's not the same video as you may have watched before, or if this is the first one, it's the first time you're going to be doing it. But we're going to be having a look at all the new changes and updates that are coming for the 2024 season as and when Hutch allow us / release their information. So stick with me as we go through the F1 Clash 2024 changes and we have a look to see what we can spot. Here it is then, the next one on our list, or the first list if it is a case of when this video is released. Welcome to the F1 Clash 2024 components, and this one is a pretty interesting picture. A bit of blue, a bit of yellowy green in there, some sort of fan type logo in the top right. Let's take a look at our first image that Hutch have provided us. It is Typhoon Industries, so a manufacturer / supplier of the components for 2024. So in terms of some components, where the other ones will have different industries or whatever they are called. If you have seen them already, then you will of course already know what they are called, if any. So let's take a look at some of the parts that are in the 2024 components list for Typhoon Industries. So first up, we have this interesting picture. Let me get my head rotated all the way around to try and have a look. It is the Quantum. It is a gearbox. It is a rare part and it is a Series 8. So again, if you're new to watching these videos, big change this year is the fact that there is no more reliability stat on your car parts or your car. That has been replaced, as you can see at the top, by the last but one stat, and that is qualifying. So there will be a qualifying stat for your car, which is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be finding the best balance for the season ahead. So this part is showing you its max stats. So the Quantum at Series 8, rare, maxed out, will give us 18 speed, 15 cornering. We've got 44 power unit, 18 qualifying, and an average pit stop time at 0.41 seconds. So maybe very useful if power unit plays a big part in the season. That we don't know of as yet. We await to see how Hutch have set the season up. We're completely guessing at this stage, but Series 8 maxed out rare gearbox, potentially one that we could look at if need be. Next up then, it is a front ring. It's another Series 8 part, and this is a rare part indeed. It is a front wing called Turbo Jet. We've gone well out of the book here in terms of name. So Typhoon Industries released the Turbo Jet on your front wing. Rare Series 8, and we've got a big increase in the stat for speed. So this is one of the speed influenced parts, 43 in total. And then all the other stats, as we've seen, or you will see, are very balanced. We've got a cornering of 18. We've got a power unit of 14. We've got qualifying stat at 15. So them three are very balanced. We've got an average pit time of 0.051, which is not amazing. It's not that in the middle from what I've seen. So that might not be a bad part. We know we've used some rare parts this season in F1 Clash 2023 into 2024. So this could be well usable. It's really interesting how Hutch are increasing the stats on one specific stat and balancing out the others. Are they going to play a huge part this season. Obviously, cornering wasn't meant to have the impact it has had this season, so is this hutch recessing the playing field? Next up, we have got an engine. It is a common Series 4, so probably one of the parts that will get us going in our season and then will be quickly discarded as we level up and unlock other assets. Now, this is called the Thunderbolt from Typhoon Industries, and let's take a look at its stats. It has got 12 speed. Its higher stat is a cornering of 31. We've got a power unit of 11, with qualifying with a lowly number 9. Average pits time on the slightly higher side of 0.62. So probably, like I said, a part that we're not going to use too much, dependent on how important these stats are going to be. What do we got up next? Should we take a look? How about this one? I mean, it looks pretty basic. I didn't even have to read that it was a common to know that this was a common. It is a common Series 2 maxed out asset, this one. It is called the Corsair. I'd love to know the inspiration of the hutch names. It is a brake, and the increase in stat on this part is cornering. So cornering up at 20 for the Corsair. Probably saying it completely wrong. We've got speed at 8. We've got power unit at 7. Qualifying at 6. And we've got a 0.41 average pit time. So very balanced as always, but one stat increasing. That is the cornering, but it's only a common Series 2. It's going to be another starter part until we get rid of it, probably very quickly. So we've got probably 2 parts left now to have a look through. These probably maybe our biggest 2 parts from Typhoon Industries and seeing what they got to offer. It's interesting that Hutch are going through components like they are, because they could have a big impact on how we use them in the season. Set up to be an exciting time, but will it add a bit more complexity to the game? We're going to find out. Next up then we have well, when you see Series 1, you know it's never going to be a good part, is it? It is a suspension from Series 1. It's called the Zenith, or if it's a silent H, it's a Zenith. It is an epic part, and this hasn't got too bad stats. I've seen a lot better, don't get me wrong, but it's got a speed of 27. We've got a cornering of 9, power unit 12, qualifying 10, and a very slow pit time, 0.69. So 0.69 seconds is the pit time for that one. So probably, again, some of these parts in Typhoon Industries are going to be starter parts, and then with the chances are that we will not be using them going into anything past Series 2 onwards. I mean, Series 1 epics never ever tend to be any good, that is for sure. And then what we should do is come down to the final part. Now, each of these should have a beast of a part. How they play out, we're not going to know until we start racing. But what is this big part from Typhoon Industries? What have they spent all their overtime and their budget creating? It is. I mean, isn't that just Typhoon? Literally Typhoon. Looks a little bit. It's a rear wing. It is a Series 11 rear wing. It is called the Cyclone. So Cyclone Epic Series 11 rear wing. Now, them stats look pretty impressive on a max level part. It is a speed of 60. We've got a cornering of 23, power unit 21, qualifying 24, and a very lowly average pit stop time at 0.27. So this looks a very good part. This is probably one of the parts that I expect we're going to be using quite a lot this season if the stats are usable. If speed is actually real, we might use it. If not, I might go back to the Series 1. You just don't know. It's all going to be down to watch Hutch release. I imagine they have tested, they have worked on making these stats in the top right actually work, because they added Vegas, which was a speed track. We didn't see necessarily tons of speed, but we do notice a difference. Is that in preparation for the season ahead? So that is your components for Typhoon Industries for the 2024 season. What do you think of the way Hutch is going? What do you think of these parts? Let me know down in the comments below. But Typhoon Industries has arrived as a manufacturer / supplier in 2024.